Hello everybody, it's me, your friendly neighborhood capitalist, and welcome back to Let's Review Better Title Still Pending. Today I'm going to review Kirby Triple Deluxe for the Nintendo 3DS. Now, yeah, I am kind of late to the party with this one considering this game came out, over a month ago, May 2nd to be exact. But, better late than never. Besides, I have some things I want to say about this game. Now, when it was first announced, I don't know why, but I wasn't all too excited for it. Yes, I really do enjoy the Kirby games quite a bit, but I wouldn't say it's my absolute favorite Nintendo franchise. So I wasn't really following too much about Kirby Triple Deluxe. But as it got closer to its release date here in America, I was just looking more at the different trailers and different abilities that would be in the game, and I was like, this actually looks like it'll be pretty good. Plus, it looked like it strayed away from the typical gameplay mechanics that most handheld Kirbys tend to have, and I'll get into that later on. So let's start things off with the story. Now, Kirby games typically don't have like the greatest story in the world, but they are known to throw in a plot twist every now and then that might catch you off guard. But at the end of the day, you don't really play Kirby for the story. And this game sort of follows the basic Kirby storytelling. A strange new enemy invades Dreamland. With this game, it's Queen Sectonia and her insect forces, being led by a spider general. Spider coinciding with insects. Yeah, let's just roll with it. And they cause a beanstalk to grow underneath Dreamland, which brings all these different landmarks up into the sky in this land called Floralia. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly because I don't think I am. DDD's castle was one of the landmarks that was brought up to that kingdom, and he gets kidnapped. So Kirby starts his quest to save King DDD and return the bits and pieces of Dreamland that were up in the sky back down to where it rightfully belongs. Oh, and save some of the residents of the kingdom of Floralia that have been imprisoned by the queen and her forces. Funny enough, this is one of the few Kirby games where Kirby isn't absent-mindedly bringing about the destruction of the entire world. I'm exaggerating. That doesn't happen in every Kirby game. More like 50-60% of them. Seriously, Kirby, you're kind of evil. So like I said, it's a basic Kirby story. There's nothing really special there, so whatever. Thumbs up for the story. It's Kirby. You don't play it for the story. Up next, the graphics. And I gotta say, the graphics look pretty good in this game. The 3D models aren't half bad. You get a lot of like bright colors in certain places, and I don't know, everything just looks really nice and pleasant. I mean, it follows the same art style that was in Kirby's Return to Dreamland, so if you enjoyed how things looked in that game, you'll enjoy how they look in here. So yeah, I can't really say too much about that. I mean, it's just another bright and vivid and happy looking Kirby game. Standard fare, really. So yeah, graphics, thumbs up for me. And like I said, the 3D models in this game, not that bad when compared to some that were in Yoshi's New Island. Onward to the music in this game. I must say, the music in this game, I really dug it. There's a lot of remixes of old Kirby themes, but the instrumentation they choose and just like a few other things they change keeps everything sounding fresh and like really good and memorable. And even though there's plenty of remixes in this game, there's also a bunch of new original scores as well. One of my favorites being this theme that plays in one of the hub worlds where I don't know how to describe it really. It's like a mix of a live orchestra and dubstep. You would think that those two things should not mix, but they did, and they mixed rather well. Like, my mind was blown. And Skrillex would hang his head in shame if he would hear that and knew that he would not be able to replicate something as amazing as that. Meh, I kid, Skrillex is alright. But yeah, I really have nothing bad to say about the music. I love practically every single theme that was in this game. And that really sets it apart from Yoshi's New Island. And yeah, I know I'm bringing up Yoshi's New Island again, but I feel it is good to bring that up because, this and Yoshi's New Island were the two big Nintendo 3DS platformers that came out this year. And in my opinion, one is leaps and bounds ahead of the other. And one of my bigger complaints in Yoshi's New Island was the music and how horrible it is. But the actual arrangements themselves weren't that bad. It was just the instrumentation they used, with the kazoos and stuff. So, yep, music in Kirby Triple Deluxe, 2 thumbs up. It's great. Onward to the gameplay. Now, in a lot of Kirby handheld games that follow traditional Kirby platforming mechanics, i.e. not Kirby Mass Attack, not Canvas Curse, but more along the lines of Nightmare in Dreamland or The Amazing Mirror, each Kirby ability only has like 1, maybe 2 attacks if you're pushing it. This game follows more or less the Kirby Superstar dynamic or Return to Dreamland in a sense that every ability has multiple attacks. You have a lot of variety in some of the attacks and in the copy abilities themselves. And that really just keeps things interesting, so you're not spamming one attack over and over again. You can adjust your attacks for the situation at hand, which is always a plus. And of course, they added a few new copy abilities to this game, being Bell, which is not really one of my favorites, but it's cool to mess around with, Clown, which I really like, Beetle, which is pretty good, it has its uses, plus, you're goring enemies with a horn. And who said Kirby wasn't hardcore? And probably my favorite of the new abilities, Archer. Not to be confused with that awesome cartoon that plays on FX, but rather, an actual archer. He uses arrows. That ability is kind of broken, especially since it also has like a little stealth feature involved where you can hide behind fake trees and boulders and stuff. But it's a really fun copy ability to use, and it's helped me out quite a bit. There's also this new thing called Miracle Fruit, where if Kirby eats that, he becomes Hypernova Kirby. And that just means he sucks even more. Literally, not figuratively. With the Hypernova ability, he's able to eat anything. Anything. It even causes for a rather disturbing scene where he eats an eel out of a pipe. Don't know why, but the imagery in that, it just, I don't know, it kind of disturbed me a little. So as for everything else of the gameplay, it's pretty much just Return to Dreamland for the 3DS with new stages, some new abilities, and just more things to do. The levels themselves aren't too hard, like you're not really going to get a game over, easily anyway. The main difficulty really comes from the bosses, and like that's something I just have to point out from IGN's review of this game. Like they gave this game a 6 out of 10, and that's calling it mediocre. Like people say, oh well, 6 is passing. If you get a 6 out of 10 in school, that's considered a D-. That's 60%. That means you did mediocre. They call this game mediocre, and it's not mediocre. But they point out oh, this game is too easy. It's not hard at all. It's Kirby. You don't play Kirby for the difficulty. Kirby is the easy Nintendo platformer. It's for the younger kids and, just people want a lighthearted, rompy adventure. Mario is sort of the intermediate level, with levels ranging from easy to, late game or bonus levels that are kind of difficult. And then at the upper end, you have Donkey Kong, which is for the hardcore players, the players who want a hard platforming experience. So yeah, if you go into Kirby expecting a hard game, you're going to be disappointed. 9 times out of 10. Of course, there are some exceptions to the rule, like Mass Attack, which I find to be, a little bit difficult. Just a little bit. and I really did have a tough time with Amazing Mirror. But yeah, Kirby games, they're going to be easy. You should expect that. And this game is no different. I mean, the levels, yeah, I won't really say you'll breeze through them. Well, some you will. But for the most part, you're not going to have that tough of a time. The real difficulty comes with the bosses. Just like with practically any Kirby game, really. But the bosses aren't, rage quit worthy. They keep you on your toes. Plus, this game actually has a Wispy Woods incarnation that doesn't suck. Wrap your heads around that one, folks. And of course, this Kirby game also comes with its fair share of sub-games, or mini-games if you will. First one being Kirby Fighters, which is a Super Smash Bros.-esque game, where instead of, random fighters or even Kirby enemies, you're controlling different Kirby powers. So yeah, you could be Ninja Kirby fighting Whip Kirby, or Sword Kirby fighting Hammer Kirby, and I think you all get the idea there. Yeah, it's a neat little game. I wouldn't mind if they fleshed that out into like a full-fledged downloadable title for the 3DS, where they include like more abilities and different stages and stuff. I'd pay $5 to $10 for that. That'd be kind of neat. There's also DDD's Drum Dash, which is a rhythm game starring none other than King DDD, where you have to time jumping on drums and avoiding enemies and collecting coins to different Kirby themes until you reach the end of the stage. It's a bit difficult to get into at first, but it kind of grew on me. Like, at first I wasn't really digging it, but when I was going through it to get 100%, I was like, this is actually kind of fun. I like this. Yeah. Well, I mean, I like rhythm games in general, so of course I'm going to be kind of biased. And of course, there's the standard, arena and true arena. And instead of EX mode in this game, it's replaced with DDD Tour, where you're playing the game, again, only with King DDD instead of Kirby. And the bosses become more powerful, the enemies are stronger, some aspects of the levels change to fit DDD, etc., etc. And it's pretty fun. That mode even has 2 new final bosses that aren't present in the standard story mode of this game. I won't spoil the surprise in case you're wanting to pick up this game. And the final gameplay mechanic of note is the keychain, or, well, the keychain system, I guess, with lack of a better term. I don't know. Now, throughout the levels in the game, you'll stumble upon keychains. Some are rare, some are standard. Like, for the rare ones, you have to accomplish something specific in the level, whereas the standard keychains, they'll just be strewn up throughout the level. Yeah, the keychains just show different characters and just, little things from all the previous Kirby games. Puts you in the mind of the trophies from the Super Smash Bros. Games. Yeah, they're neat little references and callbacks to the previous Kirby games, and some of the keychains really makes me wish that these were like actual things that Nintendo manufactured and sold. Seriously, I want some of those keychains, like, really bad. And yeah, there's quite a few of them, and to get 100% in the game, you need to collect them all. And that's one little complaint I have, because trying to collect all the keychains is a big hassle. Now, the game does do a good job of providing you with newer keychains. Like, if you go back through a stage and you collect keychains from the locations where you got them before, the game does a really good job of making sure that they're new, but you will get a repeat every now and then. But not enough repeats to the point where you're just not getting any new ones at all, and you're slowly going insane with rage. And you can even use play coins to get random keychains too. So yeah, getting the keychains, it's really grindy, and that's probably going to be where you spend most of your time trying to 100% this game. So yeah, that's one little complaint I have. And like, yeah, you can use play coins, but I think this would have benefited better from a type of drawing system, similar to how Super Smash Bros. Melee was with its trophies. Or like a little mini game where you can just amass keychains and stuff. Like, I don't know, but yeah, that's one little complaint I have. Overall, I think this is a great Kirby game. It has a nice look. The gameplay's really good. The music is great. Everything about it is just really nice. Plus, the game is dripping with charm too, but that's what you come to expect from a Kirby game. I mean, I am a heartless, cynical, evil bastard, and I was smiling for the better majority of this game. This game had me happy. Wrap your head around that one. I mean, for God's sakes, at one point you reenact the Three Little Pigs with Kirby. Like, you use Kirby to destroy a house made of straw, then a house made of sticks, and then a giant evil killer robo-mech. Okay, actually I don't think that's how the Three Little Pigs went, but you get the idea. But yeah, like, all in all, this is a really good Kirby game, and if you're a Kirby fan and you have a 3DS, I highly recommend picking this game up. And if you're new to the Kirby series, never played one, well, I'd recommend this one, but I'd recommend it behind Superstar Ultra and Return to Dreamland. Yeah, like, if you're new to the series, start with one of those. But if one of those aren't easily accessible to you, well, hey, you have Triple Deluxe right here. And don't believe IGN, this is not a mediocre game. Like, they called this game mediocre while saying Yoshi's New Island was fun, fresh, innovative, and in the running to being the 3DS game of the year. Just let that sink in, folks. But yeah, Kirby Triple Deluxe, I cannot recommend this one enough. Go pick it up, and you know what? Hell, I put this in my top 10 3DS games. Yeah, I'm that high on this game. It's really fun, trust me. So alright folks, that's it for this review. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time. Goodbye.